is Rosling Ronnlund. I'm Yvette.
And I'm Elvira, and we're students at Cabral High School.
Before we read Factfulness, we took the Gapminder test.
I personally had assumed the worst for my answers, setting my expectations low.
I was pretty shocked by my results, but after I read Chapter 2, Factfulness, the Negativity Instinct, I started to understand why I had been so negative. Miss Ronnlund, we learned how people always think the world is worse than it actually is, and why that assumption is wrong. We learned how to combat this instinct through 3 ways.
First is the way news is filtered as it reaches us and how we choose to read the news.
Second is that communication is greater than ever before.
Third is the way we view our past and compare it to the present. Mrs. Ronnlund, bad event, tragedy, and death are far more newsworthy than the headline saying murder rate decreasing by 2%. Many people blame journalists for bleak articles focusing too much on bad news. Is it really the fault of reporters for simply doing their jobs?
Several studies have shown that people often choose negative stories to read over positive ones, despite saying they like the good news better.
In addition, people fixate on bad news because it's the exception.
Say you're walking past a graveyard and you notice a grave marked 2001-2003. You think of how sad it is that child died so early, and indeed it is sad. But when you focus on that one grave, you neglect to see the countless graves beside it that have lived long lives.
While it's important to learn about bad events in the world, you should remember that overall, fewer bad things are happening.
Mrs. Ronnlund, with great communication around the globe, were able to hear about bad news than ever before.
But what's better? Never hearing about a natural disaster in another country and staying blissfully ignorant as other people suffer? Or hearing about it and being able to send aid to them? Miss Ronnlund, the third thing that tends to make people view the world negatively is the unfortunate presence of rose-colored glasses. People like to reminisce, whether to themselves or aloud, about the good old days, when really they don't realize that their memory is often selective.
We don't remember details of the past, so when we think of simplifying memories and compare them to overcomplicated present, we think things were better back then.
With these rosy images of the past that others or ourselves portray, the current world seems much more bleaker. It's important to know that while the world in the past wasn't always bad, the present is always better.
So why does this all matter?
If people always focus on the negative, they lose hope and stop striving to become better. What's the use of trying if the world is only getting worse?
This is why it's important to resist the negativity instinct. Look outside one bubble and recognize that things are always getting better.